Hey guys, all right, today I have something a little different for you. I'm gonna do a mobility and recovery workout with the foam roller, okay? So this one's a little bit specific because my husband just recently did a 100-mile bike ride. He does these very frequently. I think this one was a little bit over 100 miles. And with his group, he's hurting a little bit. So I wanted to give him something where he had some time to just recover and lengthen those muscles back out again. So he's feeling it right now through the hamstrings, the inner thighs, the calves, the hips, the psoas. So giving him a chance to kind of lengthen those muscles back out again, roll them out, open up the psoas, open up the hips. So that's what this workout is geared towards today. Okay, so I'm aiming for about a half hour. Again, we're moving a little slower through this workout. I'm going to talk about breathing into the movements and into the stretches to release grip, to release that tension. So we are going to be moving slower with quite a bit of intention. I always talk about intentional movement, but today I really want you to focus on that so that we can really kind of release the muscles. Now, I'm not a cyclist, but this workout is going to benefit me a ton as well. I do a ton of other things, running, strength training, circuit training. So this will feel really good in my body as well. So you don't just have to be a cyclist, but if you do cycle, this will be really nice for you too. All right. We're going to start with the foam roller right away. We're going to use it throughout the entire workout. All right. So we're going to start standing. I want you to place that foam roller out in front of you. Okay, nice tall position. Now, we're going to place our hands, both palms, on top of that foam roller. I'm going to bring it out a little further. And then I'm going to keep my feet underneath my hips. And I'm just going to walk out so that my arms are fully lengthened, okay, and my head falls right between my biceps, okay? So I still got my bicep just in front of my ear. I've talked about that throughout many other workouts, always having that bicep in front of the ear. So that's kind of the alignment you're looking for here. I'm pressing my palms down into the foam roller and allowing those shoulders to stretch. Okay, I'm reaching my sits bones, center of the glute, straight back and aiming for that nice flat back. Now, as I press into the foam roller, I'm inhaling and I'm allowing my shoulder or that underarm to dip down a little bit. Now, from here, we're going to take this into a cat-cow. So we're going to exhale, curl and round the spine. So we're going to curl the tailbone underneath us, press down into the foam roller and protract those shoulder blades. And then on the inhale, we're going to unwind. Look up at the palms at the top of the foam roller. Let the tailbone wag up. You'll feel a stretch through the hamstring. Okay, exhale, round and curl. Curl the tailbone under the body. Okay, press down into that foam roller. Protract the shoulder blades. Inhale, release. My necklace gets stuck around my chin. There we go. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, release. Good, and let's go one more. Exhale, round and curl. Nod the chin to the chest. Pull the tailbone under the body. And then we're going to inhale as we release and look on up. Good. Come back to that flat back and walk your feet in towards that foam roller. We're going to grab both ends of the foam roller now and do some standing work. So feet are going to come a little bit wider, more like shoulder width apart. Okay, and we're going to lengthen both arms all the way down. From here, we're just going to work on some shoulder mobility. So on your inhale, we're going to bring that foam roller up and overhead. Exhale, bring it down. Good. Inhale, bring it up and over. I want you to feel the swivel of the humerus bone, okay, up in that shoulder socket. So we're working on that mobility through the shoulder. Now, as you work here, okay, that foam roller is always going to stop at the top of the thigh, okay, but I want you to bring it on up and go slightly past the forehead. So push that mobility a little bit. And then coming all the way down. Good. So I don't want you to flare the ribs. Okay. We're just reaching those palms back with the foam roller a little bit more. Okay. So it's coming just past my forehead and then back down. Good. Inhale up. Creating that internal length. Exhale as you bring it down. I'll give you a side view too so you can kind of see where my shoulders are going. And then bringing it back down. Good. And this should feel really good too because, being on the bike, your back is rounded a lot. You're hunched over. and in that position for a long time. You got to open up those shoulders. Open up that chest. Good. Let's go for 2 more. Good. And let's go 1 more here. Good. Inhale. And exhale down. Now on the next one, we're going to bring it up and hold. Okay, and we're going to reach for that extended position a little bit. So really reaching that foam roller back. Now we're going to bend the elbows. Foam roller comes to the top of the head, and then we bring it back up. We're just going to bend the elbows and bring it back up. Good. So working on that mobility. I want you to think about the shoulder blades pulling down the back body, still keeping the ribs closed. The core is engaged. Got that belly button pulled up and in. Exhale as you bend your elbows. Good. Last 2. Inhale up. Exhale down. Good. Last one right here. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now keeping those arms up and overhead, let's lengthen the elbows back out again. Let's bring that foam roller back into that position where it's just in front of the forehead, so we're not really overextending that range. Okay, now right from here, we're going to work on some side bends. So we're going to inhale as we reach up and over to the right. Okay, so we're working on lengthening out of that left waistline. Inhale back through center, exhale. Let's inhale on our arc. So we're going to inhale up and over to the left. That inhale is going to give space between the vertebrae so we can get that side flexion. Exhale to center. Inhale up and over to the right. Now I want you to imagine something pointy underneath that waistline that you're arcing towards. So we're arcing to the left. Right underneath that left waistline, let's think about something sharp under there. So we want to lift up and over. That's going to give you lots of length on that right side. Good. Think about lifting that shoulder up and out of the waist. Waist picks up out of the pelvis. Exhale back to center. Good. Let's go last one to the left. Good, you guys. All right, now right from here, we're going to bring that foam roller down to the floor again into that tall vertical position. Now we're going to work on the psoas a little bit. So the psoas runs from the center of the spine around T6 all the way to the top of that thigh bone, that femur bone, and it's connected right there. So that's a part of the core. We're going to open and stretch that. Again, when you're on the bike and you're here, it doesn't have a lot of room for movement. Okay, so that right foot, my right foot's going to stay nice and flat on the floor. My right palm is on the foam roller. My left foot is going to cross in front of my right. Okay, so I've got my inner thighs touching, knees are in front of one another, left foot is in front. Okay, from here, I'm going to press that right palm down into the foam roller. I'm going to stay tall, bring that left arm up towards my ear, palm facing in. Remember, bicep stays in front of the ear. And then we're going to inhale as we arc up and over to the right towards the foam roller. I want you to think about that length that you're feeling down through the front of that left waistline. Opening up that psoas, lengthening, and exhale back to center. You can bring that arm all the way down. Let's go again. Inhale, exhale at the top. And now we're taking a nice inhale to reach that left arm up and over the ear. Big, long stretch, pressing into that foam roller. Exhaling back to center. Let's bring it on down. Same thing. Let's go one more time. Inhale, bring the arm up. Exhale at the top. And now we're going to inhale as we reach up and out of that left waistline, giving lots of space to the spine. And then we'll bring it all the way back to center and bring that down. Let's do that other side right away. So we're just going to move that foam roller over to the left side now. My left foot's going to stay nice and flat on the floor. I'm going to take my right foot. I'm going to cross it in front. Okay, press that left palm into the foam roller. We're going to take, and that's there for support. Really, that's the only reason. The right arm is going to inhale up and overhead. Exhale at the top. Good. Inhale. Reach that right arm out of the right waistline. Big, long lift. So just like the side bends we just did, but now crossing that foot in front, you should feel a deeper stretch down the front of the body on that right side. Good. Exhale back to center and bring it down. Good. Inhale that arm up and overhead. Exhale at the top. Inhale, take that arm up and over the ear. Press into that foam roller. Good. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Woo. my balance. I'm pressing so hard, the foam roller. Come on up. Bring that arm down. Let's go one more time. Inhale up. Exhale at the top. Good. Inhale. Give space to the spine. Find that big length and that big lift. The foam roller being on that left side kind of helps to think about keeping length on the left waistline. Good. And come all the way back to center and bring that arm down, guys. Nice job. All right. We are going to take that foam roller to the floor now. Okay. So all the way down, you want to bring that foam roller into that vertical position again, or we're going to lay on it in that vertical position. So we're going to straddle the foam roller and you're going to bring your tailbone all the way to one end of the foam roller. I want you to be careful here. Obviously, it's a very movable surface. Okay. And nice and slowly with your hands on either side, you're just going to lie your spine down right down the center of that foam roller. Okay. Your knees are going to stay bent so your feet are nice and flat, and my feet are coming straight off the hips. So I have a nice base of support right there. My forearms are going to come down on either side of that foam roller. And again, that's going to be another base of support to start. Okay, now right here, I just want you to start to feel, this feels nice just as it is, this kind of pressure on the spine in my body. And I want you to just think about your neutral spine. Okay, so you want to think about crown of your head, very tippy top of your head, reaching away from the tailbone. So we've got lots of length. We want to think about the tailbone heavy in the foam roller. So press the tailbone down. Your hip bones shine straight up and we pull that belly button in. I want you to take this time right here to just let your body kind of melt into the foam. So we're going to inhale, big inhale. We're going to breathe into the rib cage so the ribs expand outbound. So I don't want you to belly breathe. I want you to think about expanding your rib cage. So right here, big inhale. Exhale all that air out. Good. Big inhale, expand into the ribs. Good. Think about really opening up that rib cage. Exhale all that air out. Okay, now right from here, we're going to take that right arm up towards the ear. Okay, and now we're going to circle that arm out and around. Okay, so we're just going to work on some big arm circles right here. Doesn't really matter which way your palm is facing. It's facing towards the center of my body for me when I come up. Okay, and then palm faces up as I circle around and down. But I really want you to just focus on lots of mobility at the top of the shoulder, right where that humerus bone fits into that shoulder socket. Good, let's go 2 more in this direction. So that elevation that we get off the floor with the foam roller gives us that movement room for movement with these arm circles. On your next one, we're going to hold it up at the top. Let's go the other way. Circling up and around. Still holding that neutral spine. Good, you guys keep breathing through all of this. Last 2. You might feel some knots through the center of the back. I do in my body. I feel some knots kind of hanging on. But that pressure with the foam roller will help kind of work that out as well. Let's bring that right arm back to the floor. Okay, and that left arm now is going to come up and overhead. Same thing. Let's start backwards movement. Okay, so back and around. Good. Feet are still flat on the floor. Right arm is resting alongside the body now, giving you another base of support. We've got that core engaged. Okay, so we're not rolling around. Got nice stability through the torso. Good, let's go 2 more this direction. Good, last one. Good, now we're going to take the arm the other way. So we're going to go down towards the front and up and around. Good. Nice, strong movement right here. We're going to take this into a butterfly next. So getting back into opening up those hips. Last 2. Good. Now, as I lay here, my back started with a lot of pain. Mine slowly, it's kind of working itself out. All right, now both arms are going to rest alongside the body now. Now, instead, the feet are going to move. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So you're going to open up the inner thighs, let them shine up towards the ceiling. Bring the base of your feet together. Okay, so I've got the inner line of my foot. I started that connected, and then we're gonna open from there. So if the entire sole of your foot can't touch each other, that's fine. I'd rather you start with the inner line of the foot and then roll out from there. But we wanna open up those inner thighs and just kind of let them stretch. Again, the elevation off the floor gives us a little bit more room for movement here. I want you to think about what's happening at your hips. Okay, so you might wanna get some movement right here. So in this butterfly, we've got those hip bones, right? I want you to work at pressing the low back into the foam roller and then release that, okay? Press the low back into the foam roller so you feel the low back right there. That's the center of the spine. Press that down, and then we're gonna come back to the neutral position. So this is a really good thing to feel in the body too, with the pressure on the spine and using this foam roller. You can find if this would be a tucked pelvis. So when you press that low back into the foam roller right here, we're tucking the pelvis. And this is not what we want. A lot of times you'll hear me when we work on the reformer and in mat Pilates, you'll hear me talk about that neutral pelvis and neutral spine. This is not. Once we let that low back have a little space, now we're in our neutral spine where those hip bones shine straight up. So let's just work a couple more like that where we tuck the pelvis and then we release. Last two. And last one. And let's release that right there. Now, nice and carefully, we're gonna bring our feet back flat on the floor, and we're gonna walk our hands back and sit on up. Okay, now we're gonna work on the inner thigh a little bit. So leave your foam roller the way it is, and I'm gonna bring my left knee down to one end of the foam roller. My right foot is gonna come onto the foam roller. Now, I've got the inner line of my foot arcing over the roundness of the foam roller, so it kind of just rests nicely there. I'm gonna move mine out a little bit so my right leg has room to slide out on that foam roller, okay? And we get a nice stretch on the inner thigh. So I'm gonna let my palms come down to the floor. Okay, I've got my left knee under the hip, and we're gonna keep it like that. And now I'm just sliding my right foot down along that foam roller to get the stretch through the inner thigh. So you should feel a nice deep stretch right there. You're only gonna go as far as you feel comfortable using the foam roller as a guide. This will keep your foot your leg in parallel. So those toes will stay shining forward, and we're just gonna press down into the floor. My back stays nice and flat. I keep those shoulders down and back, and just breathe into it. And we'll stay here for 4. Good, last 3, kind of rock forward and back a little bit if that feels good. Last 2. Good, and then we're gonna come on up. Now we'll move this foam roller a little bit. We're still gonna work on the inner thigh. We're gonna take that foam roller into a horizontal position, okay, or parallel to my left leg. And we're gonna take that right ankle onto the foam roller. My toes are gonna start shining up, and I've got that left knee under the hip. But what's gonna happen here is we're gonna sit back into the left hip, okay? And as we do that, we're gonna bring our hands to the floor, and I want you to let that foam roller roll out. So we're gonna allow the left inner thigh, that's the knee that's on the floor, let that open. So we get a straddle position. Now I'm letting my right leg go into external rotation. My toes start shining up now. They were forward, right? And now they're shining up. So I'm allowing that stretch to happen. A little bit different than what we did prior to this, where we were in parallel. Now we're opening up a little deeper through that external rotation. Okay, we're gonna bring it all the way back in, and we'll do that a couple times, okay? Reach back, sit back on that left. So the sits bone reaches for the left heel. Hands to the floor, roll that foam roller out. Allow your left inner thigh to open up. So now I have a little tent with my legs, right? They're both opening away from the midline, and I'm allowing those right toes to shine up to the ceiling. That foam roller is just below my knee, just below my knee. Good, hold that there and breathe. And let's roll it back in one more time. We'll do that one more time. Okay, so same thing, come up into that tall kneeling position. We're gonna reach the left sits bone back, hands to the floor, roll it out, let the left inner thigh open, Let that right leg go into external rotation and hold it right there. And just breathe and stretch for 4. Good. Last 3. Last 2. And roll it all the way back in. And now we're going to take this into a hamstring stretch. Okay, so we're going to turn and face the foam roller. Left knee still stays on the floor. We're going to work on that right leg first. Okay, so my right ankle is on the foam roller. Okay, a little bit of balance here. Okay, I want you to take your hands to the foam roller and you're going to allow yourself to roll forward. Okay, so I've got my hands on the foam roller, kind of walking it out there. The foam roller is getting closer to my knee. Okay, and you notice my left knee is not under my hip anymore, kind of like in a half split. Okay, keep that right foot flexed. Okay, and try to keep the right heel off the ground. Reach and stretch right there. So you're opening up that left psoas muscle and the front of the left hip and getting a stretch through the right hamstring. Good. Hold it there for 4. Last 3. Last 2. Good. Nice and slowly. We're going to roll it back. Use your hands on that foam roller. So rolling out the calf at the same time. We're going to go one more time. Okay. Hands to the foam roller. Okay. We're going to reach and roll that forward. The foam roller comes up the leg. So my right foot stays flexed. I'm trying to keep the right heel off the floor. I'm opening up my left hip. Good. And I'm not twisting. I'm trying to stay straight forward. So my shoulders are square to the foam roller. Hold and stretch it right there. Good. Last 3. Last 2. And then walk it all the way back up. Nice and slow. Use your hands as a guide. Rolled out the calf at the same time. All right, you guys. All right, now we're going to work on those quads a little bit. So we'll do a centered movement before we do the other leg. So we're going to take the foam roller right at the base of the knee. Okay, and we're going to bring our hands to the floor and we're going to lie down on that foam roller. So you're going to have to wiggle it back into position as you get down there. Forearms are going to come to the floor. Okay, and now you've got your quads or the top of your thighs, front of your thighs on top of that foam roller. Okay, right from here, we're just going to roll back and forth. Just roll back and forth. Good. So basically taking a shoulder hinge, right, where we're moving through the shoulder, finding that mobility. Good. My shoulders come a little closer to my palms, and then I roll them away from the palms, and they track behind my elbow. So I'm rolling out that entire front of the thigh. Good. Let's go for 4 more. Good. Last 3. Good. Let's go for 2. Core is engaged. I'm not letting my low back over arc. I've got that core tight. Now, right here, I want you to find a spot where your shoulders are over those elbows again. Okay, now we're going to open up the chest a little bit. So I want you to allow the belly to come down towards the mat. Okay, we're going to get a little arc through the spine. And then we're going to press it back up. We're going to nod the chin and curl and round the spine. Okay, we're going to inhale, release that. Let the belly dip down, arc. So it's pretty much like a cobra. Okay, and then we're going to exhale, round and curl, chin to chest, pull the tailbone under the body. Inhale, release that. We'll go one more time. Exhale, round and curl. And then release that all the way. All right, bring those knees back to the floor. And now we'll do the other side. Okay, so we'll start with the hamstring on that left leg. So the right knee is going to stay down on the floor this time. Okay, and my left, balance, my left ankle or calf is on the foam roller. Okay, so I want you to find a position where the right knee is underneath the hip. Shoulders are square to the foam roller. We're going to bring our hands or palms down to that foam roller. You want it to start somewhere around the ankle so that you've got room to walk your hands on that foam roller. The foam roller is going to come up the leg, not down the leg. So it's at the base of my knee right now, and I've opened up the front of my right hip. Okay, so the knee that's on the floor, that hip is opening. Okay, I'm stretching out the psoas, opening up the hip. I'm flexing my left foot to get a deep stretch through my left hamstring. Okay, you should feel the back of that knee too, everything down the back line of that leg. Hold it right there. Hold it right there for 4. Good. Last 3. Last 2. Good. And then roll it nice and carefully back up to a position where that right knee is underneath the hip. Okay. From here, same thing. We're going to do it again. We're going to use those hands to move the foam roller or roll. That foam roller is going to come up the leg to the base of the knee or somewhere around there. Okay, you're opening up the front of the right hip, getting basically a half split or a side split. Good, hold it there. Inner thigh, big stretch through that right inner thigh as well. Keep that left foot flexed. The more you can flex that left foot, the deeper you're going to get into that hamstring. Good, you're here for 4. Good, last 3. Last 2. Good, we're going to walk it nice and slow all the way back, because I know this is a tough position. Okay, and then nice and carefully, we're going to bring that left foot around. Now, I'm going to bring my foam roller over here so I can stay facing you. We're going to work on that inner thigh, but in that external rotation. So keep the foam roller in that horizontal position. My left ankle is going to come on top of the foam roller. Right knee is under the hip. Okay, so we're going to start nice and tall. Okay, and let's start with those left toes shining forward. We're going to reach back with the right sits bone. So we're going to reach and sit back. Hands are going to come to the floor. And we're going to allow the right inner thigh to open up as that left leg goes into external rotation. So you're going to get a nice deep stretch down that left inner thigh. Good, and hold it right there. Hold and breathe. So you'll feel the right inner thigh too, opening up, letting that hip move away from the knee. Last 4, 3, 2. Keep breathing through all this movement. Good. Walk your hands back up. Come bring that hip back over the right knee. I'm going to move a little bit away from my reformer so I've got more room to stretch with you guys. Okay, same thing. So we're going to start tall. Toes on the left foot. That's the one on the foam roller. They're pointed forward to start. We're going to reach the right hip back. Okay, reaching it back over the right heel, hands to the floor. And now we're going to roll that left leg out as the right inner thigh opens and the left toes shine up to the ceiling. Hold that stretch right there. Hold that stretch. So we're working with that left leg and that left inner thigh quite a bit in external rotation on this one, and then we're going to take it into parallel with that slide down the foam roller. Hold it right here. Use that exhale. Good. Last 2. Good. Roll it back up, and we're going to go one more time. Okay, so all the way starting nice and tall. Left toes shining forward. Reach that right sits bone back. Hands to the floor. Let yourself roll out. Let the left leg come into external rotation. Let the right inner thigh open up and hold it here. Use your exhale to release any sort of grip and tension. It should get a little bit more stretchy every time. Last 4. Good. Last 3. Last 2. Good. And walking it all the way back up. All right. Now we're going to take that foam roller and we're going to change position. Okay, so it's nice and long now alongside the left side of the body. My right knee is going to stay under my hip for this one. So you want to bring the left foot onto the foam roller, and that arch of the left foot is just kind of rolling over or forming over the foam roller. Okay, right here, we're going to slide that left foot down the foam roller. Keep the right knee under your hip. Okay, so this is not where we want to let the inner thigh open on the right side. The left leg is where we're working, and we're going to keep the arch of the foot on the foam roller so the toes stay shining forward. If you can bring your forearms down, great. If just your palms feels good, wherever you feel like you're getting a deeper stretch, the closer you bring your chest to the floor, the more you're going to feel that left inner thigh. So just hold that right there. Good. Hold and breathe. Lots of static stretching today. Good. Last 4. Good. Last 3. You can roll it back and forth if you need to. Last 2. Good, and then come on up and slide that foot back in on that foam roller. Okay, we're gonna come back to some standing work. So come on up. That foam roller is gonna be kind of a support pillar now. All right, we'll start with that right leg. Okay, so left side is where you want that foam roller nice and tall. My right knee, okay, we're gonna bring the right knee up, out to the side, back in, and down. So just starting with opening the gate. Right knee picks up. We open up the inner thigh, we close and down. That's it. Bring it up, open, close, and down. I was losing my balance on that one. Could you tell? Good. Moving slowly to the right side. Press into that pillar. Press into that foam roller. Let's go one more just like that, and then we're going to do some knee circles. Bring it up. Good. Open, close, and down. Now right here, we're going to bend the knee, but this time we're going to bring the knee so it's pointed straight down towards the floor. And now we're going to circle around from there. Now what I want you to focus on, my toe is pointed on that right foot. What I want you to focus on is the movement of the femur bone. So I talked about the movement of the humerus bone, the top of that arm bone right there in the shoulder socket before. Now I'm talking about the femur bone, top of the thigh bone that rolls around in that hip socket. So that's where we want to find lots of mobility right now. Big circles. You're drawing a big circle with your kneecap. Okay, last two in this direction. Make them as big as you can. Good, and now let's go the other way. Change the direction of your circle. Drawing a really big circle with your kneecap. Good, working on that mobility through the hip. We stretched it out, we're opening it up. Finding that mobility again, taking away some of that stiffness that tends to start to happen, especially after those muscles have been cramping and gripping and working for so long. Good, last 4. Good, 3. Last 2. All right, bring that leg down. Let's take it to the other side. So that foam roller is going to come over to the right side of the body. We're going to start with that open and close the gate. So we're going to bring that left knee up, open the hip, close the hip, and down. So we're bringing the leg up in parallel. We're bringing it out into external rotation, opening from the top of the hip, and then we close and down. Everything else is staying controlled. Okay, so I'm not letting the rest of my body move around. My core is engaged, and I'm working on that deep movement from right at the top of the hip. I don't want you to twist when you open that door. Okay, try to isolate the movement right where the femur bone connects into the hip. So again, that intentional movement, I want you to think and feel this in those spots I'm talking about. Let's go one more. Good. Up and close. Now we're going to come into those knee circles. So we're going to bend that left knee. Okay, now instead of bringing it up here, right, it's pointed down towards the floor. We're going to circle. Big circles up and around. Pick one direction because you're going to switch it, so it doesn't really matter which way you go now. Again, envisioning a circle that you're drawing with your kneecap. Okay, think about moving your kneecap. So we kind of think about movement of the thigh bone. Doesn't have much to do with the ankle or the foot. Good, there's along for the ride. Good, lots of mobility in that hip. Good, we want lots of mobility there, right? Those 2 ball and socket joints, they're the most mobile, and we want to keep them that way. Last 3. Good, you've got 2. Last 1, and let's go the other way. Circle out and around. Yeah, big circle. Big circle with that knee. Good, the more movement here, it's going to heat up that joint too, but that's good, right? Good. Last 4. These mobility and recovery workouts are so important. I don't do them enough. Good. Last 3. And 2. Good. All right. Now bring that foot down to the floor. Last and final thing. Let's pick up that foam roller one more time. Okay. We're going to come into a roll down. So I'm going to side face so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing with my feet. Okay. We're going to inhale. Bring that foam roller up and overhead. My feet are underneath my hips. We're going to exhale as we nod the chin and start to round the spine and bring that foam roller all the way down to the floor and then stay down there. Move your hands so that they're just in front of your feet on that foam roller. Okay, from here, we're going to hold that stretch. If you can bend your elbows and get a little deeper, you're going to feel that stretch up the back line of the legs a little bit more. I want you to use your exhale breath to get deeper. Good, hold it there for 4. Good, last 3. Last 2. Good, now stay down there. We're going to pedal out the knees. So we're going to softly bend the right knee. Keep your right heel connected to the floor. You're going to feel a deeper stretch down the back of the left leg. And then we're going to switch. Left knee bends. You'll get a deeper stretch down the back of the right leg. My heels are not leaving the floor. My heels are staying connected. We're going to change that up. Okay, let's go for 2 more. Bending that right knee. Good, and then bending the left. Good, now right from here, I'm going to bring my feet closer together. Okay, and I'm going to take my right toes to the foam roller. Okay, now right from here, you're going to feel a real deep stretch up the back of that right leg. Okay, so I just want you to breathe into that. Breathe into that. You can bend your left knee. Okay, you've got those toes elevated now. So we've got to stretch all the way up the calf into the hamstring, and you should also feel it in the center of the glute. Hold and breathe. Good, you can kind of pull on the foam roller and push it into your foot. You're here for 4. Last 3. Last 2. Good, let's take that foot back to the floor and switch. Left toes come up to the foam roller. I've got that elevation through the front of the foot now. Big stretch up the back line of the left leg. My right knee is soft. I'm going to pull the foam roller into my left toes, but I'm keeping the left leg straight. Whew, I can feel that. I can feel that, and I didn't do a 100-mile bike ride. Good, hold it right there. Feel the stretch up the calf, all the way through the back line of the knee, the hamstring into the glute. For 4, exhale, get deeper for 3. Last 2. Whew. Bring that foot back to the floor. Okay, nice and loose. You're going to get those hands nice and soft on top of the foam roller. Just let the weight of your upper body hang. Okay, keep those knees soft so they're not locked out. And on your inhale, we're going to round and stack the spine all the way up to standing, pulling the belly button in. Head is the last thing to roll up. Good, roll those shoulders down and back a couple times. Whew, and you guys did it. Hopefully you feel a little looser after that workout. That's the goal, a little bit more stretched. The blood's flowing through the body. Usually you feel pretty good after a mobility and recovery workout, not too tired. That's not the goal. All right. If you have questions for me, guys, please leave them below the video. I'm happy to answer them. You can always connect with me on social media. It's also Jess P Fit on all social media channels, so I'm pretty easy to find. If you like the video, like, subscribe so that you get updates on my videos when they're released. I have at least one new one a week, but I try to aim for 2 or 3 if we can. It's tough sometimes. But I'm always here for you. If you've got questions, suggestions, things you'd like to see, let me know. Drop me a line. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.